Hi everybody, and welcome to Traveling with Russell. Welcome to the center of Moscow, and welcome to a supermarket video. It's been a hot minute since I did my last one, and I thought I'd take you for a walk around a fairly unique supermarket. We're absolutely in the center of Moscow, and there's only one of this chain of supermarkets in all of Moscow. So, of course, we've got to go check it out together. If you're wondering where I am in the center of Moscow, this is Tverskaya Street, very famous, one of the roads that leads away from Red Square. Just off in the distance is Mayakovskaya metro station. I think I've caught the traffic right between the changing of the lights. It is on the weekend today, so there's less traffic on the road. One of the nice Russian buses just coming by. Lots of people around because it's a beautiful day today. It's a little bit noisy because we're right here by the main road. And this is the supermarket we want to go and see and have a look next door. Big Samsung shop. However, we want to go see Bakhetle. Now, if I've got the name wrong, please correct me. And there is actually two doors. One leads to a cafe, and we want to go down this entrance that goes to the supermarket. However, I just want to show you the opening hours. It's open 7 days a week, and it says there with no lunches and no days off. So no lunch breaks and no days off. So it's kind of quite interesting that they put that right on the sign. Let's head on inside. So it isn't a little bit of a strange location where there's two entrances. So one would lead to the cafe, and we want to go down these escalators. Now, very typically, a lot of supermarkets in Russia are on the lower ground floor, so this is not unique in any way. It gives them a lot of space to spread out. And Bakhetle home-style supermarkets. And there is a few other things in the entrance. This is actually not part of the supermarket, but they've got pay by weight, dried fruits and nuts. And this is where we want to go, right here. Now, from the street, you would have no idea this supermarket was here. And you would have no idea just how big this supermarket is in the lower floor of the building right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go for a bit of a walk around the store. Now, there is quite a lot of things, of course, that I recognize, and there's a lot of things that I don't recognize. So please excuse me if I miss something or I don't point it out. Now, of course, we're in the middle of summer now, so all of the stone fruits are in season. Now, this shop isn't very busy. I've actually walked in here, I walked back out, and I just asked politely if I can make a video, and they had no problems making a video. So we are here on a Saturday afternoon, and I would say 99% of people that are in Moscow are not at a supermarket today. They'll be definitely somewhere in a park, somewhere by the river, maybe in the countryside, and not supermarket shopping. So if it seems that it's very quiet, it's because it is. There's some really nice plates here. We actually have some of those at our house. And actually, I got my mum a big bowl as well. And the one thing that you'll see in this store as well is the selection of imported items and not necessarily just made in Russia items. Of course, you know that I point out Coca-Cola. You know, it's a long story about the fact that the factory that was producing it now doesn't, and another brand is made there. And then you'll see here where they've got these white labels. That's the designation that it's an imported product. So there's definitely more than enough Coca-Colas, and from different countries. Lots of types of waters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do basically a walk around and show you some things. Lots of vodkas, of course, and lots of wines. So this is a full line supermarket. and you could literally do your daily shopping in here. Now, I would say that most people that are coming in here, they're coming in here because they've got a lot of specialty items and a lot of things that you probably can't find in any normal supermarket in Moscow. Now, if 2 years ago all of the brands decided to leave Russia, please tell me how these shelves are full. How can I very easily buy a bottle of Hennessy? How can I buy some Bell's whiskey? And there is Bailey's right there, which is absolutely available without any problems. Now, if someone can answer me how it's possible, I'd be very curious as to your answer. Now, there is a lot of normal, typical things in here that you can buy in every supermarket. A very wide selection of Lays. I just had these the other day, Tom Yum flavored Lays. If you're a fan of Tom Yum soup, it's really nice. And if you are a fan of Mexican beer, Corona right there, and about $1.70 a bottle. Now, this particular video is in no way about the pricing, because it's very difficult with a lot of the products in this store to talk about the different prices of things. They've got lots of cheeses from Italy, from France. There's also plenty of Russian domestic cheeses. There's even some from Kaluga, which is not too far from where I live here in Moscow. And they've got a very nice selection of different types of cheeses. And then hams. Now, this store, I've been told by probably 20 people that I need to come here and show this store because of the selection and the assortment and the amount of different things they have. And finally, I've actually, more importantly, found the shop. And secondly, I'm here making a video. One of the shoppers that was here a little bit earlier, we were having a chat about the shop, and he said a lot of the meats here are halal, and depending on what religion you might be, maybe different meats and different types of meats are what you need to eat or buy. Now, these meats right in front of me here are different game meats, and they've actually got duck, they've got turkey, they've actually got venison as well. Now, don't be too afraid, they also have horse right here. There's a horse meat, and actually I think some of these are right at the front also. It's a very dark, almost black colored meat, and it's very well known in different parts of Russia, and it's very commonly purchased and had. Have a look at all the types of deli hams and salamis that they've got. Now, I'm walking the wrong way a little bit now, so I'm going a bit off my plan of walking in a circle. There is probably about 100 types of cheese that you can choose from. So it's all either by weight, or you can buy a block of it. It's totally up to you. I've also got some dried fish or smoked fish over here, if that's something that you like. There's a little bit of caviar, not too much, but a few different types. And then different types of fish and canned fish as well. So there is a lot of choices in here, and there's a lot of local products which I obviously more than recognize, and then from time to time there's different products that you can't find in any local supermarket whatsoever. And I just want to make this video because I was requested that, as part of my channel and having so many different Russian supermarkets on the channel, you've got to find, you know, all these unique places that don't really exist, and there isn't more than one of them. And then here I am, coffee section, Again, no problems with different imported coffees. All of the brands I think most people would recognize right there. And even more choices, I think. Now there is one very interesting one that I spotted when I was walking around. Here is all the different teas. And let me see if I can find it twice now. And this one right here, called Tailors of Harrogate. Now, if perhaps you watched one of my Bali videos, I met my parents and my auntie and uncle, and they're actually from Harrogate, or as close to it. And that's an English tea that they have that's from Yorkshire in England. And it's sitting on a shelf here in Moscow, Russia. And that's just so obscure. Now, I probably don't think about it as much anymore because I know that there's so many items here that have made it to Russia somehow, and I'm less in shock every time I find things. And then where you find something that's from Harrogate in England, your mind is blown. Have a look at all these cakes. How delicious. Beautiful cakes. I wish it was my birthday, but it's not. So I don't have a chance to buy one as an excuse. It's a little bit hard to get an idea of this size of shop. This middle island here is all of the ready foods or cooked foods. And you can take these home. Literally, dinner is made. All the choices of salads, which wrap all the way around. Now, someone did mention in a video, what do they do at the end of the day? Now, they don't put big servings out of this. A lot, or most of this, is all homemade. So they don't make, you know, kilos and kilos of it. They just make reasonable amounts that will sell in a reasonable time frame. And this lady over here, she's labeling up all the sandwiches and putting the dates on and best befores on. But how nice is the selection of just the lunch snacks. So perhaps a few people who are watching this who might be my Russian audience, you can mention perhaps in the comments about this store, and that a lot of the items that are unique are from Kazan or from the Republic of Tatarstan, and not necessarily from Moscow or Moscow region or from the greater country of Russia. So yeah, if you might have heard of this store before or know about it, let me know in the comments, because this is my first experience in here and it's just so interesting to see this place. The only fear with making this video is if my wife sees this video and I go home empty-handed and don't find something to bring home. Now I know already for today she's prepared dinner, so I'm safe today, but she might be a little upset that I've come in here and showing all the food and not buying any. They've even got shashlik back there. Oh, very nice. So this is all prepared food, literally take it home and eat it. There's also pancakes right there. Very delicious. And of course, we're still in a supermarket, so there's going to be frozen foods. Very small section, and that goes for all supermarkets in Russia, because it's so available that you can buy vegetables and fish products that you really don't need to buy anything frozen. And most people are shopping just for a day or two. They aren't actually doing a weekly shop when they come in here. All of these sweets look very nice, by the way. There is a lot to choose from. Now, two people I've spoken to while I've been in here talked about the different cakes and sweets and the selection. And they've got pies. And a lot of these pastries have different fillings in them, so maybe cheese, potato, mushrooms. And have a look at all these homemade pies right here. Wow. I'm actually hungry just looking at this, and I was deciding what to have when I head on home. So perhaps this is an interesting video if you like my supermarket tours, or maybe it's because you wanted to see this particular store, or you just miss me going around supermarkets. Now that it's summertime, I've been doing lots of park videos. Of course, I'm back here in Russia after a trip overseas to meet my family. So it's nice to get back to making videos and putting them on YouTube for you. They actually have some items here from Turkey as well. Some different biscuits, different cookies, different snacks. It's really interesting. The more you look, the more different things that you find. They need the ice cream fridge by the exit. We're not going to decide on ice cream when we're halfway through shopping. What's going on? And you can see just how big the store is. Of course, this is the whole lower ground floor, and it probably even wraps around under the street as well. They've got some jams and relishes here, which is interesting. And there's some juices. And they've actually even got some Belarus drinks as well. So yeah, this is definitely a nice selection of things. A lot of stuff that I'm not used to seeing in normal supermarkets. And then definitely imported items that are not domestically available. Of course, I think from Italy, from Belgium, we know all of these different items. There's actually some flags on things. I was sort of noticing that earlier, but then it's not really on everything, which is a little bit disappointing, where they just start it and then they don't finish it. Eggs. There is actually a meat section, but it's very, very limited. Most people would go to a butcher's and not come to a store like this for meats or chicken. Lots more snacks. And then the way this shop's laid out, you essentially walk through and end up at the registers. So you've got all the personal care items here, which is, you know, doesn't feel like this store when we first walked in, but they do have literally everything, as you can see down the aisle there. I did just spend a few minutes looking at the different olive oils and different cooking oils, and I saw an article recently about Australian-made oils that were cheaper overseas than they were domestically in Australia. And I was looking for an Australian brand, and there isn't one here, but there is plenty from other countries, which is, of course, not to be unexpected. There's a Belarus flag right there. So there is a few imported items. Well, there's actually quite a lot. However, it's up to you to kind of spot them as you're looking. And then all of the pastas. And then there's some cereals and breakfast snacks right here. Now, I've mentioned this many times that in Russia, the kids don't really eat these cereals. They eat porridge and oats for breakfast, and it's just not a common item. A little bit of canned food, limited really just to peas, corn, and olives. Look at how many types of olives they've got. From Spain, from Italy. And then you basically walk around then to the exit right in front of us here. And after that wide, expansive shop we walked in, it funnels around to the registers. There's stuff for cooking. All these different types of honeys. And then if you need any of the different ingredients for cooking and any sauces or sachets, you're good. And then the registers. And I think nothing is too out of place, except at the register you can get yourself a little mini bottle of vodka or mini champagne as you're walking out. Who needs a Snickers bar when you can get a bottle of champagne? Now, I was just about to head on back to the main part of the store and film the ending, and I just noticed here that they've got Australian Bundaberg, and the only couple that they've got are the diet versions. So you can get diet Bundaberg drinks. Also, Bickford's is Australian as well. So that's just very interesting. I just spotted them in the corner of my eye. I was looking to see what cold drink I can buy myself, and they have Australian drinks on the fridge. And of course, in the normal fridges right here, Pepsi and Coke products are absolutely more than available. As I walk back around to this main shopping floor here, it's really interesting when you're on the street upstairs and the cars are whizzing by, and then when you come down the escalators, you just come into this very big food store that you just really don't expect to see here, and how well lit it is, all the choices. Get yourself a nice big watermelon, and there isn't a fruit or vegetable you can't buy. In these types of stores, they even have a lot of the unseasonal items as well. Of course, the price will be higher, but you can buy them all year round. And that's probably why a lot of people come to this store, because they're looking for unique items, and especially a lot of things that are from Tatarstan and are not in the corner store or in the typical supermarket, as I like to call it. As I walk on out of Bakhetle, I really hope you found this video interesting, and it was a good insight into a Russian typical supermarket, but actually a Tatarstan supermarket with a lot of goods from the Tatarstan region of Russia. As I come out to the main road and all the cars going along Tverskaya Street. Now, if I walk literally straight in this direction, which will be in front of me, I'll be at the Kremlin in about 10 minutes. So, and that's the way I need to walk to catch my metro as well. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Back making supermarket videos, and especially at this place that I just went to, it's the only one in Moscow. And all of Moscow region, there isn't two of that chain of supermarkets. So that's the whole point of going there and showing you Russian typical supermarkets. Now, if you went to Kazan, where this company is from, there is lots of them. And it's very much a normal supermarket in that region of Russia. So, and I'm actually empty-handed. I didn't buy anything. I've got to walk, catch a metro, and then catch a bus home, so I can buy something at my local shop right next to my building. So give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Post a comment. Let me know what you think. As I walk past the Intercontinental Hotel, didn't they leave Russia? Seems like they're still here, right beside me. Now, if you want to follow me on Telegram, there's a link right here. You can click that. And then if you want to see an old video, maybe I'll put the most famous Russian supermarket there is. I'll put a Tverskaya video for you, and you can check that out right after this, as the noise of the cars beside me keeps going. Thanks, everybody. I'm off on another adventure. Bye.